All right. Got one here from Sambucha. Something about abandoned towns. We're gonna check it out.
The United States has 350 million people living across 20,000 cities/towns across our 50 states. But not all those cities and towns are inhabited. In fact, a handful of towns in the United States are classified as ghost towns. And that's what we'll be doing today. We'll be exploring some of the craziest abandoned ghost towns, ranging from a town in central Pennsylvania that has literally been on fire for the past 60 years, all the way to dangerous abandoned concrete slab houses in the middle of a forest that we're also going to be investigating. So obviously we have a lot to do today. So without further ado, grab your
I was actually on a hike recently, and the the hike that I was on, it had a abandoned like a park station, and the only like there was one building that I had saw standing like on the journey there, and once you actually get to the park station, the only part of that park station that's standing is it's just what is it? God, what do you call it? It was just like a big fire pit, but that was the only thing that was standing, was just this big fire pit. There was like foundations for the rest of it, but the everything else was gone. They did have like plaques to um, uh, talk about like the setting and what was built there and stuff, and they had old photographs and things. So that was kind of cool. It was cool to learn about.
popcorn and let's do this.
All right, guys, we're approaching this ghost town called Concrete City. In 1911 in central Pennsylvania, where we are right now, we're in Wilkes Barre. They basically constructed 20 concrete homes, so literally made of concrete. There's really bad insulation, bad plumbing, so everybody basically had to abandon these houses sometime over the last 50 to 100 years. And the government actually tried with 100 sticks of dynamite to blow up these homes, but they couldn't do it. So now these 20 homes remain standing, fully abandoned though. So this is the path in order to get there. It's about an 8-minute walk. We're probably 2-3 minutes in. There's like swamps here and stuff, so you can't really access this with a car. You have to get out of the car and then you have to like walk little bits way. But I think we're almost there, so I'm
Yeah, that's kind of how it was for that place I went to too. It was really out of the way. You had to make a journey to get there.
really excited to see this. All right, we're going into the forest area here. I think this is the final stretch down there, and then we ultimately reach the houses. There's a lot of swamps. They're giving us some obstacles in order to get here. Again, nobody lives here at all. I don't even think a lot of people come here anymore, just because of like how difficult it is to access. Not because
He says that, but there's like clear tire treads in the mud right there. Like somebody's been there pretty recently.
because of the obstacles, because it's in the middle of central Pennsylvania. But we are here. Oh, I see a graffiti colored tree right here. We're definitely getting close. So all 20 of these concrete homes, as I said, they're still standing, and you can actually go inside of them because they don't have doors. And interestingly, there's no trespassing signs either. So the state of Pennsylvania has actually recognized this as a historic spot for whatever reason, I guess because it's cool. And you can actually come here and just look around, but do so at your own risk. Okay, I think in the distance, I could see some of the old abandoned concrete homes.
Oh yeah, man, he's totally just on like a the four-wheeler trailer. That's totally what you'd use to get back here at this point, or a dirt bike or something like that. And I used to live up in Alaska, and this is like all over the place. People just, they drive their four-wheeler to frickin', to town and shit to go get groceries.
Guys, so this is Concrete City. We're officially entering, and here are the homes right here. You'll see they have graffiti all over them because people just come through and they've obviously done what they've done. See an Among Us graffiti? All right, guys, so here we are. This is 2 of 20
Yeah, nobody's been out there recently, but they got Among Us on the wall. Okay.
of these houses. You could actually see these on Google Maps satellite, which is crazy. This is what it looks like when you keep zooming in. You'll see here on the non-satellite view, you could see them, and then actually on the satellite gets picked up as well. So really cool structure. There's obviously like a U shape of them. So we're gonna actually look at a bunch of these and just walk around right now, because this is very cool to see. Somebody wrote the year 2025, which means that we've had people come here recently. Actually a couple of times, 25 here as well. I don't think anybody is here or living in here, but it seems like a booze spot. There's a lot of different like types of beer on the ground. So I think people come here just as like a little hideout and drink, maybe do things like that. I guess we can go inside one of them and just see what's happening in there. Just looks like a lot of trash and maybe a lot of like concrete that has kind of fallen. These are not super safe to go under, so if you do investigate abandoned spots yourself, just make sure to be careful with any sort of dilapidated structure. We are professionals, and that is why we are doing this. There are a lot of poor choice words on this wall, let's just say, so we're not going to show a lot of the wall, because there's just think of the worst word you could think of, and that's what's on these walls all around.
I mean, obviously, man, you get drunk out there, you're hanging out with your friends. Yeah, you're gonna write some stupid shit on the wall, of course. Like, who's not gonna write some stupid shit on the wall?
And just rubble everywhere. Pac-Man ghosts. Oh my god. There's a basement in here. How did they build
I ain't going in
basements
the basement,
1911?
though.
They just like dug underground like that? Okay, so this is the
Yeah, fuck the basement, man. What?
upstairs area. So we're gonna go up here. All right, so we are upstairs now. I don't know if this counts as a second home. I think there's actually 10 full structures, and then since there's 2 levels with them, they basically count as 2 homes. This is the upstairs, so I guess a bed used to be here at one point. Maybe you had like a kid's room. This was the whole upstairs area. It's actually pretty spacious. Here you have this room, and then over here, maybe it's some sort of closet, toilet perhaps. There's actually not as much trash on the ground as I expected from an abandoned house. Just a lot of rubble, a couple of monster drinks here and there. I wonder if the state actually comes in and cleans it out. Okay, there's like...
There's no way the state comes in and cleans it out, but, you know, it's kind of nice that people aren't, like, super trashing it, you know? I mean, I imagine there's broken glass and shit from people drinking and shit, but if it's a party spot, you know, it's cool that they're keeping it somewhat organized, you know, or not trashing it altogether, I guess. I don't know, man.
A hole to access another part of the house, and then there's stairs there. Does that mean it goes up even higher? All right, so I'm gonna go through this portal right here. Just like, is this how you access the other side of the house? Was there not like a better way to configure this? Okay, so this might be the second house that's attached, and it's just basically a mirror image of what the first half was. All right, guys, so this is what the basement of an abandoned home looks like. People have clearly been down there. The number one rule of going to abandoned structures is to not enter the basement, not necessarily because it's the scariest, but because of some like structural integrity issues where if things were to collapse, obviously if you're in the basement, you get trapped. So,
which makes it the scariest. Oh, shit.
Bit to show you, but for everyone's safety, we're not going to go fully down there. There's also a sign, just for the record, I didn't write. Sam was here on a warm day in September. I'd swear I didn't write that, but it is currently September 2nd, and it is a pretty warm day outside, but that was not me. There must be another Sam who's just like cosplaying as me. Yeah, guys, as you can see, there's really not much down here, and also the ceilings are really low. It's like it was built for Napoleon, like people who are 4'11", and obviously as a 6'7" person, it'd be really tough for me to squeeze there, but there's just a bunch of rocks. I see some drinks, so people have clearly were down here. Definitely unsafe though, so I'm not gonna go too far down. That's probably the deepest I'll go in here, but it's a very small basement. It's not like your classic American basements nowadays. Cool though, let's keep walking around. So that's what the inside of those houses look like. You could see other ones too starting to line up. So there's a third one right there, and there's even more. There's like 7 more that go this way. This is what Concrete City at one point looked like. Just imagine this was really freshly mowed. There was a Starbucks and a Walmart actually right behind us, and now there's just nothing. I see another building over there, so let's check.
There was never a Starbucks or a Walmart anywhere near this bitch.
Check it. That one looks really overgrown and inaccessible. Let's continue on the path and try to check out that one. I'm actually surprised there's no one here. I would expect some sort of like urban explorers or photographers or just anybody on a beautiful day like this to come by and take pictures of this historical site. And despite it being a historical site, it's certainly not maintained like one. Swampland, overgrown grass and weeds and whatever else is here. So if you woke up and you wanted to say what's up to your neighbor or maybe family member, this is the walk you would take. And then you see this building here, right where that Sus Among Us character is, and that Illuminati logo. And you would say, good morning, do you want to go to Walmart together? All right, let's check out this one a bit. Ooh, this is a hot. Go. Guys, what was that?
Oh my
Guys,
god.
I don't know what that was. Some guy just did a chainsaw. No joke. I think we were like getting too close to his house. I guess somebody's still living there. Revving a chainsaw as we were approaching. So we're getting out of here immediately.
Oh my god.
That was actually the scariest moment of my life. We thought nobody was there. We ended up running into some guy with a chainsaw. So we just booked it back to the car now. And I don't even know what to say. We almost
There's nobody here, we're all alone, it's a nice day out. Run into a dude with a chainsaw, what the hell, bro? Fuck that.
had our lives taken from us. All right, so we are 2 miles out from Centralia, which is the town in Pennsylvania that is a complete ghost town. This thing has been burning since 1961. There's a fire that basically broke out in the coal mines and it was uncontainable, so it just basically spread everywhere underground. Now there's vents that have fumes coming out. The ground is apparently heated, and now they have just 4 people living in the town. At one point there was 5,000 people, so this town is just completely abandoned. I mean, even just driving by the town before the town, you start to get that feel. But
we're a mile out and things are starting to look barren.
All right, we are currently about to enter Graffiti Road. It's one of the largest landmarks in Centralia. We can start to see here some people doing a little bit of graffiti. Basically Route 61, which now runs through Centralia, and it's a pretty big road in central Pennsylvania, used to have a second path, but it ended up being abandoned because Centralia ended up being abandoned, so they got rid of it. People started putting graffiti all over it, and at one point it was really cool. It looked like this. But nowadays it's covered with dirt mounds, but we're still gonna try to walk on top and see if we could see any of the remnants of the graffiti. There's also a cemetery right behind us, which is one of like 2 things in this town, so that's kind of cool to see. Let's see what we could find here. Unrecognizable now, but just
Oh, bro, they destroyed that shit. Someone did that on purpose. That's crazy.
all dirt mounds cover. You could see on some of the rocks a little bit of the remains, and it runs all the way down. But there's not a single stretch that does not have dirt on it now, but you can still sort of tell that it used to have something. That's a shame. It was such a nice area. I don't know why they got rid of it. So we found a stretch of the highway that looks untouched. So just imagine this entire road had this area covered with graffiti all the way down. People are still very much engaging with this place, as we are. You could tell by some of the active graffiti art that's on some of these rocks that are now on top. So I have a feeling when I come back, if I came back in 20 years or so, all this dirt mound would be covered with more graffiti. Then they'll have to cover it again, and then this will probably be like 20 feet high. So this is like 1/4 of Centralia. You'll see there's nothing here. There used to be houses everywhere. I think at one point there was like fire station. This whole middle ground here was like, I don't even know. You could use your imagination of what this looked like at one.
Did they just like go through and demolish it all? Like, why'd they tear all the buildings down? That seems like it would cost a lot of money.
Point. Now it's just fully overgrown with weeds. There's nothing here. Like I said, there's only 4 people that still live in this town, and I think they're all families, so they just live in one house. We're gonna try to find that house. Obviously, we don't want to trespass beyond places where we can, because there is a family living there. But it's quite interesting just being here, just on this road that hasn't been touched in 50 years.
Okay, guys, so behind me are the last 2 remaining houses in Centralia, which house the last 4 people that live here. I think it's 2-2, so they're split up. There's like a guy and his wife, a guy and his wife. I believe they're a bit older, so they just haven't made their way out. But if you just look on the city limits of Centralia, these 2 little dots are the only structures that are even up outside of the fire station and then the church atop the hill, and then I guess the cemetery technically counts. Well, that's all cool. This town is known for constantly being on fire, so it's time to find the fire now. We're gonna look for some of the smoking vents and try to actually breathe in that carbon monoxide and sulfur. Maybe not that, but I want to ultimately feel the heat, because this is what this town's all about. So when there was 5,000 people living in this town, this entire road had houses apparently just everywhere. They demoed the houses sometime, I think like 20-30 years ago, so you're going to be unable to see them. But I mean, there's like watermelon remains here, so it looks like somewhat recently there was a person eating fruit. That must be unrelated, because there's no way that hasn't decayed after just like a month, let alone 20 days. I don't know how far we can even go.
I mean, why did they go through and demo all of it? That seems expensive as hell. Like, they're gonna pay someone to demolish the entire city that nobody's living in. What was the point of that? Did they haul the materials away to use for something else? Like, I don't know. I don't understand.
There's no direction here in Centralia. You're just kind of like out and about, hoping that you find something abandoned, because everything is abandoned. But I guess you could see a little bit of this structure here. So before we mentioned that Graffiti Road is no longer a thing, but it seems like they're taking over other small trails and roads. There's graffiti all along this road, so we're gonna follow the graffiti to see what this leads to. There's a sign that notably says stop, go back. We're gonna keep it moving. I really wanna find one of those vents. I wanna see the steam, because the ground below me is literally on fire. It's hard to tell, because you know, you obviously can't see heat, but the ground is warmer over here. And if you get an open hole, there's gonna be steam that's emitting from it. All right, so we're going into the woods of the abandoned Centralia town here. Apparently there's smoking vents around here, so you could possibly see the fire or some of the heat and steam being emitted from one of the vents. There's just a lone chair on top of this area. All right, guys, we actually found the vent. This city is on fire, and there is proof of it. So right up there, you're gonna actually see the smoke from the ongoing fires that's just coming directly out of this vent area. Oh, it starts to smell like sulfur a little bit as well. You're getting all that underground smell as you get a little bit higher. That's cool to see. All right, guys, so here it is. Oh, it's so warm. It's literally, the town is on fire. It's crazy. Underneath us is just a massive underground coal mine fire for the entirety of Centralia, and this is emitting it from this vent right here. And it's like persistent. Like, this hasn't stopped in 60 years. It's just a huge fire, because there is so much coal under the ground of this town that apparently for the next 50 years even, it's going to continue to burn like this. So it's a 100-year fire underground in this spot. There's not much down here that you can really see.
Man, we really messed that one up, didn't we? 100 years? That, bro, we're burning Earth's resources away, dude. We ain't even using them. It's just going up. Screw it.
But as you can see, there is a ton of smoke. Oh, there's condensation even just being dripped from the plant here. So that's probably like boiling water. Okay, I think I found another vent over here. This one's lower to the ground, so maybe we could actually see the fire. Yeah, here we go, right here. Oh my gosh, it's like a furnace right here. That gets so hot. You could put, I'm not even kidding, a pizza in there and that would cook in 10 minutes. That's gotta be 300 degrees in there. That is so incredibly hot. Stick your hand in there, look how, that's actually hot.
Whoa, look at my sunglasses.
Full condensation. Behind me, you'll see the last remaining church in this town. It is private property. They note multiple times, no trespassing. This church, the adjacent cemetery, and surrounding property are strictly for the use of parishioners, their family members, and guests attending services. I think they're really big on their privacy because a lot of people now view this as a tourist site. By the end of the day, it is still somebody's town. It's actually quite a pretty church to just be in like a random town. All right, guys, so this next ghost town we're going to be investigating is called Beltville. So from 1845 to 1860, I believe, for a 15-year period, there were a dozen houses within the Watchung Reservation in New Jersey. And then after a bunch of their mills, resorts, and other industries started to fall, people moved out of here, but their houses remained intact. And actually, I see some right here. So these are houses that nobody lives in anymore, and those look insane. They're from the 1850s. I guess they retained some of their colonial style. We're going through the woods here in this reservation to try to find them. So there's 1, 2, I see another 2 over there. Oh, that's a pretty cool town. But nobody lives here. It is generally maintained a little bit because it is like within a park. So there's not gonna be people actually living within here, like homeless people or people who just like are kind of creeping around, but it does still look.
Yeah, that was actually my first question is like, why is somebody not just like living there instead of, letting the building rot, honestly? If someone homeless guy wanted to do it, fucking let him.
Incredibly dilapidated. Like, look at the back of this house here. It's definitely seen some better days. This is all
maybe not that one, all right.
Government property, so you're not actually allowed inside of it. There's actually a no trespassing sign right there. But what's cool is you can actually see the dilapidation of what this, at least porch area looked like. I almost just fell through a sinkhole right there. But yeah, that's a collapsed porch. And then the roof looks to have fallen as well. Okay, here's another house. This is the neighbor. This looks to be number 5. Honestly, for being 170 years old, the house is in decent shape. A little bit creepy. And obviously you don't want to stand on this because it looks like it'll break any second. So I'm gonna stay on the ground right here. But a similar fate to this front deck and front porch area. Looks to be broken down a bit, but all the windows actually seem to be intact, so nobody's tried to throw stones or rocks to get in here. Oh.
Honestly, super surprised the windows are intact. I'll be real with you. I had like 30, 40 cars in my backyard when I was a kid. I mean, and let me tell you, between the ages of like 12 and in 18, I think, in 18 or 19 is when I ended up leaving. Those windows are broken. Yes, they were donezo, all right? Like 100%. None of the cars ran. I was an idiot. Like, I could have sold all that glass and made like hella money on just like taking it out and selling it on fucking Marketplace or some shit. But yeah, either way, I had a good time.
Ooh, there's a massive hornet's nest right there on the side. Who knows how long that's been brewing there? That could have possibly been there for like 20 years and nobody would know. I want to go to the back of the house a bit because there's more right there. That one looks really scary, so I kind of want to look into that. That's probably the cheapest house in this entire block if I had to guess, because it's the smallest and there's not much to it. What is this? Is this like an attic entrance? No. Although it could be like a well opening maybe underneath there.
Or a septic tank.
Septic tank. Escape route maybe? Okay, but let's go over to this one now. Oh yeah, this one is probably my favorite. This house has seen better days. Somebody's actually thrown rocks through there, as you can see. I wonder why every single floor is just caving in like that. What happened for all the roofs and all the front porches to just go under like that? There's actually graffiti right
That's because it's all exposed to water.
here, and then broken glass because I think somebody actually went inside of this abandoned house, unfortunately. So they did trespass in this place, which you hate to see. That's what it looks like inside. We were able to peek the camera inside so you could see what it looks like inside of an 1850s colonial style home in New Jersey. All right, so here is the deserted house of the Watchung Reservation. There's an old American flagpole with the flag right there, and then the actual house. So this house, I mean, it's in really good shape for being from the mid 1800s. Nobody lives here whatsoever. There's not a soul that's in here. So I think we could actually walk up and get pretty close to this abandoned house. Wow, it's like Cracker Barrel seating on the outside here. They really thought about the seating for everybody. I don't know how long these benches have been here, but I'm going to sit right now on an abandoned porch. It doesn't break. It's been here for like 200 years. They have a rocking chair. They have an old rocking chair. You can't really see in here. It's a little dark. There's furniture in there. So this must have been for the well, and it'll
there's a bunch of shit in there.
A bucket to kind of dip down and get your fresh water. Oh, there's even a latch here. All right, I'm gonna peek down below here. Imagine just like a dead body or something. Oh my gosh, you can actually probably go down there, which I don't know if I should do, but I could, but I shouldn't. Oh no, did I just break this abandoned house basement entrance?
Nah, he didn't break it. It's meant to do that shit.
Okay, I think we're good. That was almost bad. That's probably unsafe to walk on now. There we go, okay. Whew, we saved so many lives right there. Okay, so there you have it. That's the deserted village. That one is actually pretty crazy to see just because those houses are truly abandoned and they're still up. They look like just normal homes from 150 years ago. You would never know that those haven't been lived in 150 years. And one of them was in really good shape as well. But yeah, the government has these, so you can unfortunately go inside, but I don't think I would do that anyways because some of those houses look pretty scary. Okay guys, so here we are in Burnsville. Doesn't look like much. Pretty similar to Centralia, how there's just nothing here, despite the fact that there used to be a lot of different houses and public institutions, stores, I guess, and things like that out here. We go in.
Bro, how much money did fucking Pennsylvania spend demolishing their fucking own buildings? What the hell? Why? That's crazy.
Here though, I do see something abandoned with some graffiti on it. I also see some furniture that looks to be left here. A couple chairs. I can't name anything else. Those look like 1970s pieces of furniture. But interestingly, there's that. There's like an abandoned tire there. And on the ground here, seems like we got more stuff. Yeah, there's just like a bunch of wood that's left out. It's like somebody started building an IKEA desk and they gave up halfway through. But I'm certainly interested in what this is over here. So in Burnsville, actually nobody lives here, unlike Centralia. So this is just completely abandoned, an absolute ghost town. If we look in here, wow, I wonder what this used to be. Just graffiti everywhere. Must have used to been some sort of house. Somebody.
Man, that was probably the jail or some shit.
He must have lived here at some point.
Gunshot holes.
Yeah, there's bullet holes inside this as well. I don't know if people are using it as a shooting range or if some bad stuff happens here, maybe some gang initiation stuff. But it is pretty, of course, dilapidated. You got overgrown plants here. It's like white claws everywhere on the ground. But the reason I think it was a house is because there was a door here clearly at one point. There was a window. There's different areas to the house. Now, of course, nothing. So that's literally all there is in Burnsville. As noted, there's nobody living there. There is actually a shack that we passed it, but it's said private property, but I don't think anybody actually lives there. I think it's more so just like a government monitoring building, perhaps. But we are.
Man, they should have investigated closer on that one. That's all I gotta say. Give me a picture, okay?
Are going to be heading to the town now where the people of Centralia and Burnsville relocated to. This town is about 2 or 3 minutes south, so for the remaining Centralia residents, I guess this is where they shop, and for the ex-Centralia residents, this is where they live. This will be kind of fun to see like where they moved to once their town was literally caught on fire. We were like 1 minute away. There's like a red road leading to it, which is kind of weird. Wizard of Oz vibes. The town is called Ashland, and I think it has like a pretty good amount of people now. It's grown a good bit since then, of course. And they have a lot of restaurants here. I even saw a Subway, so they have a fast food spot. I know Subway has like 38,000 restaurants. I did not think there would be one right outside of Centralia. And interestingly, it's the highest rated restaurant in Ashland. It has like a 4 or 5 on Google, I believe. This is town.
That's
this
crazy.
Is where the people who had their houses burned live. That looks to be a motel. Oh, there's a lot of action here. Maze Drive-In. Oh, that's fun. So just 2 minutes down the road, and now you see just an influx of houses. It's as if they just put these houses up, stacked them next to each other because they had to get here quickly before, of course, they got into trouble with what the burning fires were doing to their town. I'm not seeing a lot of food spots. I'm really interested to see this Subway, but it's actually a beautiful scene too. You have the mountains in the background. All right, stopping to get gas. I never have to do this because I live in New Jersey, so I very rarely pump gas, but here in Pennsylvania, you gotta do it. There's actually somebody else at the pump. I don't know if he's an Ashland resident or an ex-Centralia one, but he's.
Are they not allowed to pump their own gas in New Jersey? I know that's a thing some places, but I've never not pumped my own gas. That's weird.
Doing his thing, so let's fill up, see if I know how to do this. You would think gas would be cheaper in these towns, especially Pennsylvania with fracking, but it's just not. It's like more expensive than it is in New Jersey. Do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, that's always how it is. You have to ship it to that place. You have to pay a truck driver to fucking drive it there.
A receipt? Yeah, honestly, I do. At this spot. All right, we filling up. I did the trick where you could like, look at that trick. Somebody in the comment section, guess how much it's going to be to fill up. If you say the exact number and you somehow have proof of it, I will put you in one of these videos. I will come to you or you come to me and you will be in a video. If you can actually guess what this is gonna be. My guess, 52.18.
That's
5403.
5403, 5218. Come on now. Come on now. Oh, it's going to be more. All right,
it's
it's
gonna be
going to be
more.
into the 60s maybe? All right, if you
Yeah.
said 6024, congratulations, you are the Powerball winner. I wonder if I should buy a Powerball thing while I'm here, just because it's like $1.2 billion right now at the time of this recording. If I win a $1.2 billion lottery draw in Centralia, Pennsylvania, I will give everybody watching this $1. Okay, so the Powerball ticket is secured outside of the Turkey Hill gas station. I got it. I'm not going to show you my numbers just in case I win. I will let you know if I win, though. You can guarantee that because I do owe you guys $1 each. Hopefully, I don't have too many people watching this. Even though it is 1.3 billion, that is a very handsome amount. Let's see what happens. All right, guys.
I mean, he's gonna lose out on a few million. That's all right, you know.
Guys, there's the Subway. So that's the highest rated restaurant in town. So I'm gonna be eating at this Subway to see if it's the same as other Subways. So what does a Subway in an abandoned town taste like? So the Subway here is literally exactly the same. Honestly, perhaps even a little bit nicer. I think it's made with more care. So I even got myself a cookie right here. So I'm gonna eat lunch here. But overall, I mean, pretty enjoyable Subway. I can see why it's rated at a 4 or 5 and the best restaurant in all of town. Very pleasant experience. They even have nice pictures on the wall of the ingredients. Very cute. All right, guys, so that is Burnsville. As you can see, I mean, the abandoned town didn't have anything in it. It was a complete ghost town. Actually, on Google Maps, they classified as a ghost town, which is pretty funny, like underneath it if you search it. And then we were just in Ashland, which is the town nearby where I guess people who are relocated live now, and of course where people go shopping and stuff. The Subway was really nice, the nicest Subway I've ever been in, so shout out to that Subway and shout out to the workers there.
All right, guys, so that was a lot of
Hell
fun
yeah.
going to these different abandoned towns and cities. If you are an urban explorer and want to do these sorts of things, just make sure to use proper precautions because these things could be a little bit unpredictable, as you saw. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more content, make sure to click here, click here. Otherwise, subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Hell yeah, that was a good video. You know, if you want to see more of me, you know, what he said, like, subscribe, comment, all that good jazz. Have a good one, guys.